problem. So if you want the job get done, give me a call, then. We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark now. Bradley and the CCM. The job gon' get done now. We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark now. Bradley and the CCM. The job gon' get done now. We voted for Mark now. This is Hashim the Dream and election day. Say less and vote to re-elect Renee Mark Bradley and the entire CCM party.
Find out to believe we're enough.
Tell them.
Love is all that I need, and I found it there in your heart. Is it? far with Chichi man, you can't. And if you're far with Chichi man, you can't stay on,
No matter how hard I try, you keep pushing me aside and I can't break through.
Restricted zone.
It's so sad that you're leaving.
Increase the momentum. Increase the momentum. Increase the momentum.
CCM, tell them we gone clear. We gone clear. When the big blue machine touch man the scene, we gone clear. We gone clear. Show me your 40 finger. Show me
Yes.
your 40 finger. Show me your 40 finger.
We're ready to go. Good night, Newcastle. We're so happy to be here with you this evening. This is the Concerned Citizens Movement, your party, our party, the only party that stands up for the people of Nevis. We are so happy to be here this evening with you in Newcastle, in the great parish of St. James. And you know, it's kind of cliche now, but it is fact, because Newcastle, as we all know, is CCM country. You know, I went to church ground the other night, and we started off the meeting and we said church ground is CCM country. And then we went to Chicken Stone last night. We started off the meeting and we said Chicken Stone is CCM country. And some people don't seem to like it. So they're all over Facebook and all over the media saying all manner of things. They're saying, oh, it's Nevis, is not no CCM country. Well, I'm telling you tonight that we are in Newcastle. And Newcastle is CCM country. And let them vex if they want to vex. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to get too heated because we haven't started really yet. Because, you know, the Concerned Citizens Movement, we don't do anything just like that. We're a godly party. And so whenever we start our meetings, we want to start with a word of prayer. So can you reverence yourself wherever you are so that we can go to the Lord in prayer? Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for giving us health, strength, and life so that we can go out and we can earn. Father, be with those of us who have already come tonight. Be with those who are on their way. Give them traveling mercy. Dear Lord, we ask you for wisdom and understanding and a heart of compassion. Dear Father, we, the people of Nevis, we come before you, asking you to keep the people of Nevis come before you in your praise. These mercies we ask. To Jesus' name, amen. Ladies and gentlemen, good night. You know, I love to laugh. They say laughter is good medicine. So I always want to do it. But you know, when we come on these platforms, it's serious business. Elections, serious business. The business of the Concerned Citizens Movement, serious business. The business of the people of Nevis, serious business. Ladies and gentlemen, elections have been called in Nevis for the Nevis Island administration. We know that on the 5th of December, we are going to go around Nevis in a long motorcade with our candidates to get them nominated on the 5th. You know, the last time we went to get nominated here in Nevis was for the federal elections. And when we came to Charlestown to nominate our representative for Nevis 9, the Premier, Honorable Mark Brantley. Our long motorcade had to stay in town because the other side was up in the courthouse nominating. And you know, being the good people that we are, we waited patiently in town. And then when they were finished, we watched them with their small little numbers go downtown. We went up to the courthouse and we did what we did. We got the permission from the police to take our motorcade back around town and come back. When we going through town, we coming back up. We have our motorcade, we got our speakers. The Premier is talking. Somebody pull across the Premier vehicle, stop the Premier vehicle.
Oh no!
A group of them, and hear what they say. CCM driving on the main road, motorcading coming up. They say they're having a meeting at DR Walwyn Plaza, and we're disturbing their meeting. Well, I don't know since when the main road belonged to them. And you know who was standing in front of the Premier vehicle disturbing the Premier? A minus, a negative. I think they call him Buster. The Premier told a story a while back about Buster. And you know what he said about Buster? He had a dog and he was called Buster. And when he in the yard and he on the chain, man, Buster go on bad in the yard. But the minute Buster get away and the gate open and you in front of the gate, he run gone back in the yard to hide. You understand? And that is what we have walk. Play that. I gotta laugh. You understand? So we come into town and here comes the big bad Buster stopping the Premier vehicle. But you know, the moral of the story is that somehow the NRP believe that they own the place. They're not in a government. They only got one seat, which will be taken away in this election. But they believe that somehow they own the place. And so nobody could drive on the road when they're having their little meeting with 10 people in DR Walwyn Plaza. And I believe it was on Friday. I think it's Friday. Which day? Thursday? Some one of the days. They gone back to the same DR Walwyn Plaza. You all remember long time ago, NRP used to in DR Walwyn Plaza talking. They gone back to do the same thing. Same thing. And I believe it was Albert Einstein. Everybody said that Einstein is a genius. I believe that it was Einstein who said that the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. And that is what those on the other side keep doing over and over again. They keep recycling people like Buster them, bringing them back. And you know, we have a set of people now who have declared themselves as candidates for the NRP. And they're walking around and they're saying that they're fresh and they're clean and they're new and that it's a different NRP. But I'm here to tell you in Newcastle tonight, not a thing or so. It's the same old Bun-Up Cane and the same old Bus-Up Mango. It's the same thing, same set of people. Today, I got a lift in somebody's vehicle. And I heard somebody on a radio station talking. And I said, but wait, a voice that sounds kind of familiar. But I said, but wait, why that voice talking politics? I never heard the radio station before. They said they got some new radio station somewhere about the place. He's a guy that came to politics one time say he running against the Honorable Premier. The man lost by nearly 500. I would have thought that people like those would have gone somewhere and hushed them out and been quiet after the people done reject them so resoundingly. But I realize, I think it's a fella they say is daily. On the radio, talking. I ain't gonna bother to say what he was talking about because you know those guys, they are vacuous and they don't talk anything of substance. And when they believe that they know something and people decide they want to go the next way, they vex. And so you all hear them cussing all over the place. But these are the same set of people who are out there talking on behalf of the NRP. So how can there be anything new? You know, when they come to you, remember that is the same old set of NRP people they are. And they don't mean anything good for the people of Nevis. Ladies and gentlemen, our candidates here in Nevis for the Concerned Citizens Movement, they have a record of good performance that they are running on. And every night when they come on the platform, you hear them talk about all of the good things that have happened in Nevis under the Concerned Citizens Movement. But guess what? It's not just when they come on the platform, because we live in Nevis. We drive around and we see all of the progress that has been happening in Nevis. The NRP would want to tell us that nothing is happening. Nothing is happening, but we know that them and the truth don't really get along. Spencer, what you said the other night? Strangers to the truth. Strangers to the truth, they don't get along. You know, we are here in Newcastle to support the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. I have no doubt in my mind that Newcastle and all of the surrounding areas and all of St. James will go out and support the Honorable Alexis Jeffers come election day. I know that they say that the person who is running against Alexis Jeffers lives somewhere here in Newcastle. But I also know that not many of the people here in Newcastle and the rest of St. James, for that matter, knew too much about that person before they were declared candidate. So when you all go to vote, vote for who you know. And you know, in the federal elections, we had a little conversation about some things and we asked some questions about certain things pertaining to the leader. And they had a big problem with it. But I realized something this week. The NRP put out an ad saying that some, I think it's 2 of their candidates going to the United States Virgin Islands. The USVI, I think it's St. Thomas and them type of places. And so I said to myself, but wait, the leader of the NRP never used to live in the USVI. I saying, but wait, well, that would be the perfect person to go to the USVI. They know the place, they know everywhere in the USVI, and everybody in the USVI should know them. They should know the people. They wouldn't be strangers. They could lead their party members around. And so I there asking myself, well, how come the leader not gone? You all understand? Something don't sit right there. Something don't sound right. And ladies and gentlemen, when something don't seem right and when it don't sound right, more often than not, something wrong. So you all, I think we should all study that, you know. Because imagine NRP going USVI and somebody who spent most of their life living USVI, then I take the opportunity to go, to show the candidates around. Something is strange about that, ladies and gentlemen. I leave that with you all. Moving right along with the meeting. Gonna be quick tonight. I want to welcome to the podium and welcome to the platform. We're starting in number 1. The man from number 1, the Honorable Spencer Brand.
Increase the momentum. Increase the momentum. Increase the momentum.
CCM, tell them we gone clear. We gone clear. When the big blue machine touch on the scene, we gone clear. We gone clear. Show me your pointing finger. Show me your pointing finger. Show me your pointing finger. Put them out, put them out, put them out. Show me your pointing finger. Show me your pointing finger. Show me your pointing finger. Put them up in the air. CCM.
Good night, Newcastle Village. Good evening, Newcastle Village. Good evening, St. Thomas's, St. James's, St. John's, St. Paul's. Good evening, everybody. Tonight, we are here in the heart of CCM country. Tonight, we are here in the heart of Nurse Jean country. Tonight, we are here in the heart of the Honorable Deputy Premier Alexis Jeffers country. And they got a problem with that. They got a problem with CCM saying that the whole of Nevis is CCM's country. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are here to support our colleague, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. Tonight we are here to say to the people of St. James's that there is only one choice in this election. I want to say a very pleasant good evening to all those who are viewing and listening. The chairman spoke about some meeting that they are having down in the US Virgin Islands. And we have been getting some report. And I would say to you, it might as if they've been stay home. It might as if they've been stay home. Because from what we are hearing that took place in the USVI tonight, they would have been better off if they had stayed home. But that is a matter for them.
Oh no!
Oh no, it's right. That is a matter for them. You see, CCM lead and they follow. We went to the US Virgin Island down there and all we had was standing room only. All we had was standing room only when we was in the USVI. When we was in Tortola, the same thing. When we was in St. Croix, the same thing. When we was in New York, the same thing. But they might try to follow us. They can't follow us. They can't do things like us. Because when CCM roll, we roll big and heavy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are here, as I said, supporting our colleague, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. And the NRP keep going around saying that, oh, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. But you know, look at this piece of road in front of you. Look at this piece of road right in front of you. And they call this nothing. They call that nothing. They call that nothing. Look at the brand new Newcastle police station. Right up the road up there. And they call that nothing. I want you to ask all of the policemen and women who would have served in that previous police station. And they can tell you the condition that they was working under. And it was because of the efforts of the Honorable Alexis Jeffers that we now have that beautiful spanking edifice that is now called the Newcastle Police Station. And they call that nothing. But ladies and gentlemen, I said something up in Hamilton And a lot of them scratching their head because I call them a stranger to the truth. I call them a stranger to the truth because I don't understand. I can't understand how some people could see something transform before their very eyes and they say nothing happened. They got to be the lying. They got to be the lying. They got to be that they are trying to mislead the people of Nevis. But I'm saying to the people of Nevis, you have eyes to see and ears to hear. And I'm telling you tonight, the only person that you should be considering in St. James's is the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. Look at the housing development that the Honorable Minister have championed in St. James's. Look at them. Some of the nicest homes you would find anywhere. And they say it's nothing. And I want to say to those people who are living in those homes, I want to say to them that when the NRP come to you, run them from in front of your yard. Because they have the audacity to say to you that because you went to a bank and you got a mortgage and you now have a home and they are telling the people of Nevis that your home is nothing. You should run them from in front of your yard. They're out of place to say to the people who have gone and get a mortgage that nothing has happened. Some of them paying $1,500, $1,800, $2,000 a month for their home, and that is nothing. I think they're out of order. Look at the water taxi at Owali. Some of them use the water taxi and they sneak in and sneak out the country and they say that is nothing. Some of them sneak in and sneak out on the water taxi in the middle of the night and they say that is nothing. But, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say it again. I am going to say it again that they are stranger to the truth. Because I can't understand. They walk on the pier. They take the water taxi. They go to St. Kitts. And they do whatever they have to do in St. Kitts and come back. And they walk on the same pier and they say nothing happened. And we are supposed to trust those people. We are supposed to take those people seriously. I am saying to you here in Newcastle, Alexis, he is one of you. He has been amongst you. He has championed your cause. And I want you to stand with Alexis in this election. Rally with him. Give him your support. Be his eyes and his ears in this election because they are going to try everything. They are going to try everything, but they are still going to lose all 5 seats. They're going to lose all 5 of them. They say nothing has happened. And right up the road, we have this University Heights project. And when Minister Jeffers came with that idea and that concept, we felt that where this gentleman is going with this idea. And let us be practical. It was a brilliant idea because the idea was to try and keep our university graduates here on the island of Nevis so they can contribute to the development of the island of Nevis. Where else in the world you are hearing people selling people land for $1 a square foot? And the idea was to encourage our university graduates to stay home and build their country. And I'm saying to all of those university graduates who now have a home at University Heights, when the NRP come to you, tell them about their business. You have earned your degree. You have come back and you are making a contribution to the development of the island of Nevis. And they say it's nothing. I thought that it was a brilliant idea. And I'm saying all those other countries throughout the region that continue to complain about brain drain, this is an idea for you to keep your educated and university graduates in your country. You can learn something from Alexis in this regard. It's a brilliant idea. And I would encourage it all over the entire Caribbean because Just as we do have that challenge on the island of Nevis, all of the other Caribbean islands have that similar challenge. Where university graduates, they stay in the United States, they stay in Canada, they stay in England. But I'm saying to you tonight that we have created a mechanism for them to stay on the island of Nevis. And the NRP said that that is nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here in St. James's. And we have had in St. James's a champion woman in the person of Nurse Jean. And Nurse Jean could have been running up to today, and she would have been someone who not a soul could have beaten. Nurse Jean left on her own terms, and he turned it over to Alexis. And I'm saying to you, the same support that you would have given to Nurse Jean, we want you to continue to give that to Alexis. Because, ladies and gentlemen, from one champion of Nurse Jean to another champion of Alexis, and we are ensuring that St. James's will remain in the column of the Concerned Citizen Movement Party. Tonight, we have come. The date for the election have been chosen by the Premier. The 12th of December will be a day when all Nevisians and residents alike will go to the poll to choose the government for the next 5 years. And I've said to you before that there ought to be only one choice in this election. This election ought not to be a difficult election to decide upon. This election, ladies and gentlemen, you ought not to be confused about who to vote for. This is an election that you ought not to be losing any sleep about as to who to vote for. This is an election, ladies and gentlemen, that on the 12th of December, in St. James's, there must be only one choice. That is the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. And I will say to you, he not easy, you know. He not easy in cabinet, you know. He not easy. When he come to cabinet, he fight and he root for St. James's. Well, we all get what we want sometimes, not all the time. It's just the nature of how things are. There's a lot of things that I would like, but I haven't gotten because of how the thing is. But I'm saying to you, St. James's, I am saying to you, when he comes to cabinet, he fight for St. James's. When Eric Evelyn comes to cabinet, he fight for St. George's. When the Premier comes to cabinet, he fight for St. John's. When I go to cabinet, I fight for St. Paul's. But I'm saying to you, the circumstances is that we can't get all that we want all the time. That is just how life is. And I would say to you, ladies and gentlemen, as a cabinet and as a government, even though at times we don't get all what we want, we still support and we still rally with each other. Because our aim and our mission is to ensure that we build all of Nevis all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, this ought not to be a difficult election. I've said it before and I will say it again. This ought not to be a complicated election. This ought not to be an election that you should use sleep over. Because your CCM party has performed over the last 5 years and have performed extremely well. When you think about a global pandemic that we have had to endure, ladies and gentlemen, and the island of Nevis is still standing, you have a lot to be thankful for, ladies and gentlemen. We, over the last 5 years, under the leadership of the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, have seen great strides in agriculture. And you know, when we sat just before COVID, and we contemplated the thought of A ship not being able to come from Miami with food on the island of Nevis, to the island of Nevis. We said that the people of Nevis must at all times be able to feed themselves. It was the Honorable Alexis Jeffers who was charged with the task as the Minister of Agriculture to make sure that we have more food for the people of Nevis. And I'm saying to you, by any stretch of the imagination, by any measure that you can measure his performance with in terms of agriculture, he would always get 110 out of 10. Ladies and gentlemen, they say nothing has happened. But I challenge them. I challenge them. Let them go throughout the length and breadth of the island of Nevis and look at what is happening in agriculture. And all that is happening in agriculture, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers' DNA is all over it. He's all over it. I am saying to you here in St. James's, forget about the other lady. Just forget about the other lady. Well, you're right. Who other lady? You are so right. Forget about them. Because they're not serious. They are not serious. And tonight, we are saying to you that when you go to vote on election day, just look for that nice little hammer. Just look for that nice little hammer. And put your X in the box. Don't touch the line. Please don't touch the line. I am begging you not to touch the line. Make your X in that little box next to the hammer. And you will be ensuring that you will be giving the CCM party the tools to continue to build the island of Nevis with the hammer. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say to you tonight that the Concerned Citizens Movement Party is bringing to you 5 capable and competent candidates in this election. All of them have been tried and tested. All of them have ensured that they understand and they know what it is to put country above self. Right here in St. James's, you have the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, who gave up a United States passport to be a representative. Some people thought that he was crazy, but that is the commitment that the man has for the people of St. James's. In Gingerland, we have the Honorable Eric Evelyn. And I'm saying to you, Eric, I must admit, did not really have much inclination to get involved in politics. I must say to you, he was actually dragged into this thing because the people of Gingerland said to him, it's you that they want to represent him, ladies and gentlemen. In St. John's, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Honorable Mark Brantley, who continue to fight and defend the rights of the people of Nevis. In St. Thomas's, ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing to you a young, talented young woman, Miss Latoya Jones. And I'm saying to the people of St. Thomas's, I am saying to the people of St. Thomas's tonight, come home to CCM. Come home to CCM. I am saying to St. Thomas's, come home and ensure that you have capable and competent representation in Miss Latoya Jones. And ladies and gentlemen, in St. Paul, the young people said there is only one brand in town. That is what the young people are saying. That is what everybody is saying in Charlestown. There is only one brand in town. And I'm saying to you, in St. Paul, ladies and gentlemen, there is only one choice. There must be one choice, and that is the Honorable Spencer Brand. So, ladies and gentlemen, on the 12th of December, when you go to the polls, I want you to give your overwhelming support to the Concerned Citizens Movement Party's candidates. in the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, in the Honorable Eric Evelyn, in the Honorable Mark Vantley, in the Honorable Latoya Jones, and in the Honorable yours truly, Spencer Brand. And I can guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, that you can rest assured that this CCM team will always continue to work for the people of Nevis. You can rest assured, ladies and gentlemen, we will always have your back. We will stand up for you. We will not do what the other side is doing, trying to denigrate and insult the people of Nevis. We will never do that to the people of Nevis. We will stand up for you and we will represent you. So on the 12th of December, we are asking you to stand up with us, defend our country, and ensure that the next government for the island of Nevis must be and will be the Concerned Citizens Movement Party. Thank you, good night, and God bless.
Catch up, they're too far behind. They could never catch up. They're too far behind. They can't catch up. They're too far behind. They could never catch up. They must be salt.
Big bag of
They
salt.
must be salt.
More than salt.
They must be salt.
A big old block of
They must be
salt.
salt.
Thank you very much, Spencer. Full of energy. You know, St. James, you heard it. You got a good representative. Hold on to your representative. You know, people funny, you know. People funny. Because suppose I come over here to Castle, right? Lad, man, listen to me, man. Suppose I come over here to Castle, right? And I live over here at Castle. And me just drive through straight, come back through straight. And then all of a sudden, after a long time, and me no know nobody, me say, okay, are you come, I want to represent you. You should take me on? Okay. So then, don't take on the person who come in for NRP. Take on who are you know. Are you know Alexis, right? All right. So we keeping Alexis and CCM in St. James. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving right along. And you know, this CCM campaign just keep the tempo high. So the Honorable Spencer Brand just finished. And we are keeping it high. Going to Gingerland, ladies and gentlemen. Please help me to welcome the representative for Gingerland, the one, the only, the Honorable Eric Evelyn.
Behind, they can't catch up. They're too far behind. They could never catch up. They're too far behind. They can't catch up. They're too far behind. They could never catch up. They must be salt.
Big bag of
They
salt.
must be salt.
More than salt.
They must be salt.
A big old block of
They must be
salt.
salt. Increase the momentum.
Good night. Listen. I feel like the party done start. I feel like the celebration done start.
They can't catch up. They're too far behind. They could never catch up. They're too far behind. They can't catch up. They're too far.
They're too far behind. And they could never catch up. Good night, Newcastle. Good night, St. James's. I'm feeling good tonight. I'm feeling extra good tonight. How you feeling out there, St. James's? Well, listen, I don't start to feel good yet. Because on the night of the 12th of December, only then I going to feel good. Because you know what happened? We're going to paint the whole Nevis blue. The whole Nevis is going to be painted blue. We not make joke at all in 2022. We're not making any joke whatsoever in 2022. Listen, I am just coming from St. George Gingerland. I'm just coming from a function. And I want to congratulate the Boys and Girls Brigade on their 75th anniversary. And they had a function there at the David Freeman Center of Excellence. And I am so proud. I am so proud that they were able to have that function there at the David Freeman Center of Excellence. Because, you know, the people of Nevis are now getting very excited. And they are also getting frustrated as well. Because every time I go through Nevis, every time I go and speak to people, the people of Nevis are getting frustrated that they are hearing this nonsense in their ears all the time, that nothing is happening on the island of Nevis. And as I said last night in Chicken Stone, I am not going to be spending much time on the other side because they don't have any relevance right now. This is a party that is about positive vibes. This is a party that is giving you nothing but the truth. This is a party that is bringing to you nothing but facts. And the people of Nevis are getting upset and fed up because when we keep hearing nothing is happening, and when we hear the facts being outlined on the platform of the Concerned Citizens Movement, the people of Nevis are getting excited. They want to go vote. They're ready to vote. And so come the 12th of December, make no mistake about it, the people of Nevis will be going out and voting in overwhelming numbers for your CCM party. And so the big blue machine has rolled into CCM country tonight. We all know that St. James is CCM country. Make no mistake about that. And so we are here tonight. We are here tonight because we are here to celebrate and to support our colleague, the Honorable Alexis Zook Jeffers. He likes to be called Zook, so we're going to call him Zook. And of course, we in the Concerned Citizens Movement, we have a very, very solid team. An extremely solid and competent and committed and hardworking team of individuals that have been placed before you. 5 individuals who we know have been tried and tested. 4 of us have been in government for the past 5 years. And you know what we have done for you. You know what we have done for the island of Nevis. And we will be welcoming another one into the fold come the 12th of December. But tonight is about Alexis Jeffers. And here in St. James, there is only one choice. Because all of us know, we know the metal that Alexis Jeffers is made of. We know his capability. I can speak about him because I've worked with him for several years in the department and the Ministry of Agriculture. When Alexis took over as the Minister of Agriculture, he called me and he said, Eric, I want you to be the permanent secretary. You believe you're up to the challenge? I said, listen, I think I am up to the challenge. And we made a formidable team, an unbeatable team as minister and permanent secretary. And we transformed the agriculture on the island of Nevis. And you know, the other side like to criticize. And so they criticize poor Alexis and say, oh, Alexis ain't know anything about agriculture. But look at what has happened under him as the Minister of Agriculture in 5 short years. And there is more to come. There is more to come. And so when they were saying Alexis, criticizing Alexis here, you know, I said, Alexis, don't worry. Don't worry. You have someone here who knows agriculture inside out. I spent 32 years in the Ministry and Department of Agriculture. All of my work life was spent there. And so I was able to guide Alexis, the hard-working Alexis Jeffers. He's a humble man. A little stubborn sometimes, but at least he listened to me. And we were able to do wonders. We were able to work magic in a short space of time. And Alexis took off running when he came into agriculture, and he has never looked back. He has never looked back. We have never seen this development, this kind of development in agriculture until Alexis took over the ministry. And as I said, he's not stopping there, because in the new dispensation, I believe Alexis wants back agriculture. And I believe the Premier is going to give him back. Because when you have someone who is doing a good thing, there is no need to change. And he has done not a good, but a marvelous thing in agriculture. There are many marvelous things he has done in his ministry. But I can speak boldly of agriculture, because we work together hand in hand to make sure that agriculture kept going up and up and up. Ladies and gentlemen, Alexis, he has been referred to as one of the hardest working, if not the hardest working minister in the Nevis Island administration. I'm sure you have seen him up and down, here and there, everywhere. Because that's one thing. When he wants to get anything done, he will get it done. And that is why the Premier always say, when I want anything done, I'm going to put it in Alexis Jeffers' hand. And you, the people of St. James, can be proud that you have a hard worker, a dedicated and committed representative. And as I said, it's an excellent team. It's an A team you have in the Concerned Citizens Movement. And that is why we ain't going anywhere anytime soon. And that includes your representative, Alexis Jeffers. That includes Alexis Jeffers. Because of course we know when we go to cabinet, all of us as representatives, we fight for our constituency. And there's nothing wrong with that. And so you can rest assured that when Alexis Jeffers comes to cabinet, he fights for the people of St. James. He fights for the constituency of St. James. And you have seen the fruits of his labor. The fruits of his labor are all over the constituency. Wherever you go. And they are not only in his constituency, but they are all over Nevis. They are all over Nevis. Look at how housing has been revolutionized on the island of Nevis under your representative, Alexis Jeffers. We have never seen this magnitude of housing development on the island of Nevis before. And look at the quality of housing, ladies and gentlemen. No more are they called housing projects, but they're called housing developments. Excellent houses. Every time people come to our shores, they marvel and they are in awe at the quality of houses that we have on the island of Nevis. Thanks to the Nevis Housing and Land Development Corporation, under his watch, no corruption, no scandal. Because you know what? He has the people of Nevis at heart. He has St. James at heart. He has Nevis at heart. And this is what you need in a representative. That is what you have in your 5 representatives who will be facing the polls come the 12th of December. Ladies and gentlemen, the bell was rung on Thursday night. And I can tell you that the momentum is heating up here on the island of Nevis. And the momentum is all blue. The momentum is all blue. Wherever I go, whenever I go to my constituency, only today I was walking to part of my constituency in Clegot. And some people are saying, Eric, I don't even know what you bother come for. I don't know what you even bother come for. Because our vote is sure. Our vote is sure. But yes, I'm still going to go. Because people still want to see us. And when I spoke to one gentleman in Clegot today, he said to me, listen, I heard you up in Chicken Stone tonight. Lord, I don't know why you're making so much noise in our head for. Because are you done win? Are you done win? You know what he said to me? I don't even know who I run against. I don't even know who the next party is. Because there is no other party.
Oh, no.
And that is what I'm hearing every time I go through my constituency. The people are excited. The people are ready to vote. The people are ready to stick with the CCM because the CCM has always stuck with you. We will never falter from our mantra. People matter most. That will always be the hallmark of the Concerned Citizens Movement. Your Concerned Citizens Movement. You matter most. And that is why everything we do, you are at the heart and the center of all of our developments. Ladies and gentlemen, when you look all across Nevis, you are seeing so many great things happening. And it's all because the vision of the Concerned Citizens Movement. And we will never lose that vision because we know come election day, your support will be with us. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I don't plan to be long tonight because I was told last night that I was a little bit too long. Tonight is about Alexis. Tonight is about St. James. Tonight is about Newcastle. Tonight is about Nevis 4. Tonight is about your rep Alexis Jeffers. And I'm happy that you're out to support him in your numbers. And so I want to remind the good people of Nevis. And I want to remind all of our candidates that when we go out to canvass, we must remind our people where they are supposed to go to vote. Because some people are still not sure as to where their polling station will be. And so I want to remind my fellow candidates that when we go out to canvass, let us remember to remind our constituents where their polling station will be. As I said, the people are excited. The people are ready. We are ready. You are ready. Nevis is ready. Number 1 is ready. Number 2 is ready. Number 3 is ready like Freddy. Number 4 is ready. And number 5, we will welcome you into the fold. And so come election day, in number 1, there is only one brand in town. One and only one. And that is Spencer brand. When we go up to Nevis too, the sheriff is still in town. Your leader, our capable and competent leader, the sheriff, Dr. the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley. We are sticking with the sheriff. When you come up to St. George, Gingerland, make no mistake about it. Listen, I'm still fresh in the politics, only 5 years. But I've already retired 2. And I'm going to retire another one on the 12th. I'm going to retire another one on the 12th of December. I am in the retiring business. And in Gingerland, we are in the retiring business. And not only Gingerland this time, but I believe all 5 of us are going to be in the retiring business come the 12th of December. And so, in Gingerland, make no mistake, it will be all the way once again with yours truly. And here in St. James, Nevis 4, are you ready? St. James's people, are you ready? Newcastle people, are you ready? It's Alexis time once again. And we're sticking with Alexis. We're painting St. James blue one more time. And over in Nevis 5. Over in Nevis 5. Let's sound the warning. We are taking that with us this time around. It's going to be 5-0. 5-0 on election day. And so get your voting finger ready, ladies and gentlemen. To the polls we go on December 12th. And on December 13th, it's going to be one massive victory. All 5 for CCM. All 5 in the blue column. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Good night. Remember, on election day, go out in your numbers and bring back Alexis Jeffers back to government. Thank you and good night. God bless.
Now mix me up in the drama them. You see the next team a scammer them. Now if we vote for no losing team. Now if we vote for no losing team.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Eric Evelyn. And what a wonderful endorsement of our candidate for St. James. You know, straight to business. No more, no more time wasting. We have the star of the show tonight, the man for St. James himself. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I see a lot of you here in Castle tonight. I haven't heard you all a lot tonight. Can you, Castle, make some noise for me? Make some noise and keep the noise level up, because I want to welcome to the podium the representative for St. James, none other than the Honorable Alexis Jeffers.
They can't catch up, they're too far behind. They could never catch up. They must be salt.
Big bag of salt.
They must be salt.
More than salt.
They must be salt.
Big old block of
They must be
salt.
salt. Increase the momentum. Increase the momentum. Turn it up. Increase the momentum. Turn it up. Turn it up. Increase the momentum. Why? Say they're too far behind. They can't catch up. They're too far behind. They could never catch up. They're too far behind. They can't catch up. They're too far behind. They could never catch up. They must be salt. Oh, salt. Oh, salt.
Big bag of
They must
salt.
be salt.
More than salt.
They must be salt.
Big old block of
They must be
salt.
salt. Increase the
Show
momentum.
your body finger.
Thank you, DJ. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night to the people of Newcastle. Well, the system sounds so good, so I can almost say good night to the people of Nisbet Settlement all the way up to the top of Shaw's Road, over into Camps and up in Scarborough. I believe we are going all the way up into Fountain and Mount Lily. So let me say good night to the whole of St. James. Let me also say good night to the whole of Nevis and all those who are listening and viewing via YouTube, Facebook, all of the platforms that we're carrying this meeting through. Von Radio as well. So we are being captured far and wide today or this evening. I want to say to you that it's good to be here once again. The last time we came, it was during the federal campaign. So we are here tonight once again to seek your support here in Newcastle. Seek your support here in St. James and seek the support of the entire Nevis for the Concerned Citizens Movement. But let me also say at this point in time, thanks to all who came prior to me and whoever would have given me some endorsement tonight. It sounds good, I wonder if all of that are true. Oh, I was just checking. It's true fact. True fact, because the CCM and this platform has always been about the truth. And let me say further, the CCM party is a party that has always been truthful to the people of Nevis. We don't bend buckle now, bow to any pressure. We don't mislead the people of Nevis in any way, because we always feel if we do so, the day of reckoning will come when the people of Nevis will turn their back on this party, and we don't want that. So we have always had this mantra that people have to be placed first in everything that we do. People matter most. And that is why we have placed people front and center in the development of this island. And so the CCM party has come back again. We have come back to Newcastle because, you know, Newcastle has always been good to the Concerned Citizens Movement. And the Concerned Citizens Movement have reciprocated that support and have done marvelous things here in Newcastle and St. James. And we want to thank the people of Newcastle, thank the people of St. James, and thank the people of Nevis. I don't want to just be specific to Newcastle, even though we are here. Because, you know, when we sit and we plan, the whole of Nevis is placed in our plans. But I want to say to you tonight that I want to put my record before you. Because when I rolled up my sleeves and said that I want to represent the people of St. James, after the Honorable Nurse Jane Harris would have hanged up her boots. What if I should say boots or heels? Either which way, because Nurse Jane was a champion in many ways. But when she said she was done with active politics, I rolled up my sleeve and I say, I am ready to work for the people of St. James. I am ready to work for the people of Nevis, and that is what I've done. You know, and the good thing I can tell you, as much as they're talking, they can't question my record as a minister. They can't question my record as a representative. And I hear all of us been saying on this platform that the NRP have been disrespecting the people of Nevis and saying nothing is happening in Nevis. I don't even want to say that no more. We have been saying all along that something good is happening in Nevis. Our record has demonstrated that many good things have happened in Nevis. So we shouldn't be bothering with the NRP because we know they are a disrespectful party. They are a deceitful party as well. Because there's no way you can traverse the whole of Nevis and see good things happening all upon down Nevis and say nothing is happening. That is a disrespect to all of the persons who continue to work morning, noon, and night, who work Monday down to Saturday, Sunday, who work every month and every year to build this island, and you're going to tell them that their efforts are for naught. Nothing you're doing, they're saying. That is the NRP for you. You tell me the young men them who build this road, those young men who work for public work, the engineers, the supervisors, the persons who did the curbs all up and down this road, they were done by hand. So you tell me nothing was done? And you know who is leading that cause and that chorus? The leader of the NRP. When this road was being built, I don't even think that she saw it. I don't think so. Because if she saw it, she would never say nothing happened in Newcastle or in Nevis. But I don't want to spend no time on her, you know, because, you know, I have heard the NRP say nothing happening in Nevis and nothing good is happening. But I saw something down here at Owali this afternoon. And I understand when they planned that activity, they said they'll put it close to the Owali water taxi because people were coming over from St. Kitts. They sent invitation over there for people to come over. And you know what they told them? When you all come, we'll be right next to the Owali water taxi facility. So you just have to walk across. So you see how important that facility is? They're using all of the infrastructure that we have been building in this island. They're enjoying all of the amenities that are associated with this infrastructural development. And yet still, nothing is happening. But I'm here to say, something good is happening in this island. Something good is happening. Because I want to say to you that that Owali water taxi facility, when we sat down and thought about it and had the vision to construct it, that was not the initial place that one was to be built. There was an application for one to be built down at the bottom of Cotton Ground. A single individual associated with the NRP wanted to build a facility there, and it was going to be owned and operated by one single individual. That one individual would have owned all of the water taxi boats. They would have operated them, employed persons. They would have collected all of the revenue down there. When we sat as a cabinet, we said, it cannot be similar to what goes on at the Sea Bridge. At the Sea Bridge, you have had one operator since 2007. One person making money, one entity. No other person have ever gone into that business. But a visionary government said, no. We have to make it open to every and any man, woman. Even if a young child wants to start a business, they can do that. If they have the backing and they have the money. So we said we'll build that water taxi facility. We'll open it up to all those in Nevis who want to take part or take advantage. And look what we have seen. We have seen multiple operators down there who are all 100% Nevisians. They employ Nevisians. They pay them a wage or salary. They pay taxes. They buy supplies right here on the island of Nevis, whether it's fuel, oil, and the likes. They spend money. Some money is circulating every single day at that facility. The last time the Premier reported, he said 132,000 people thus far has passed through that facility this year alone. It is big business, but it is a business that is being run and operated by NASPA, and they have given the opportunity to all Nevisians to participate. No one from St. Kitts have a boat that comes there. When someone from St. Kitts want to come to Nevis, or a group want to come to Nevis, they call over to Nevis, they call Island Water Sport, they call Blue Wave, they call all of the operators and ask them to come to Reggae Beach to pick them up. So that is what you do as a forward-thinking government, and give opportunities to your people. Multiple people are taking advantage. And that is why I'm so pleased with that development. So when we heard them saying, oh, where the $6 million gone, Lord of mercy, when I heard that, I said, what happened to these people? There's an eye clinic that is held up there at the hospital twice a year, April and November. I want the whole of NRP, all the candidates, to go up there and have the eyes check. Go and have your eyes checked, because one thing I can say to you, that even Stevie Wonder might walk on that pier and say, oh, what a beautiful pier. What a beautiful pier. No. But the $6 million that was spent, we spent just about $3.8 million to buy that property. Easy dollars, that is. Another $1.6 million was spent, easy that is, to build the pier. We fenced it up. We did all of the security work down there. We have spent just about $5.8 million. And then we're spending just about another $640,000 to build the reception area where all of the ticket booths will be. So we have done well in terms of managing the monies that we receive to build that facility. We said it would cost us $6 million, and we have spent just about that. And that is why I said some time ago, when people talk about corruption, you have to prove corruption. And when I say prove it, bring the facts to prove what you're talking about. And I said to the leader of the NRP and the NRP, instead of talking about where the $6 million gone, bring a design of a pier. Bring the cost into your pier. Bring it and tell us you could have done it for far less than what we have done it for. Then you'll start talking about corruption like that. That's what you do. You just don't talk and throw the word corruption out there and think that it sounds good. When you look at the CCM, point to the evidence of corruption in the CCM. But I will say to you here in Newcastle that we point to the corruption that existed in NRP. We brought it to the general public. And as a matter of fact, a court right here in Nevis would have adjudicated on corruption in the electoral process. And when it was all said and done, a member of the NRP, Hensel Daniel, his seat was adjudicated to be null and void. That is evidence. When they took over 200 persons' name off of the voters list. People who are walking the street of Charlestown if they didn't say hello or good morning to anyone in the NRP, if they didn't say hello to Joseph Parry, good morning to Hensley, good morning to whomever in the NRP, they go up by the electoral officers. Oh, no! That is what it appeared as. Once they didn't like you and you didn't like them, they take off your name. I never see more nonsense in my life. Even someone who said was dead, someone who they claim was dead, who showed up in court and said, here I am. They took off that lady's name. So that is what you call corruption, and the court agreed with the CCM party. The Honorable Mark Brantley took the matter to court and he prevailed. So when you talk corruption, Lord, how you bring the evidence? Bring the evidence. Because when we sit as a party in government, we have always been told by the Honorable Van Sembry of blessed memory, listen, keep your all hands clean. Be above board with what you do. And Mark Brantley, as the leader of the CCM party, has come along and he has proven that he has learned well from the Honorable Van Sembry. I have proven that I've learned from the Honorable Van Sembry. Eric have shown that. Spencer Brand has shown that. All of the persons in cabinet and those who have put ourselves up for re-election, we have proven that we have kept our promise to the people to represent and to keep our hands clean. So, let me move on from there, because when it's all said and done, I want to say to the people of Nevis that this party have performed. We have performed since 2017, but we have been in government since 2013. But I will say to you, we are now putting our records of the last 5 years before you. And we have always said that we are not a party of excuses. But indeed, in 2020, we had some challenges in this island brought on by COVID-19. You think we made any excuses? No. We came up with all of the necessary plans and programs to make sure that the lives of the people of Nevis was protected and the livelihood would be there for you to benefit. And so Nevis is in good hands. Good hands with the CCM. Good hands under the leadership of Mark Brantley. Good hands under the leadership of Alexis Jeffers right here in St. James. And I'm going to tell you what I've done here in St. James just now. Because I am proud. I just talked about the Holy Water Taxi Facility. You see the road from Cliff Dwellers heading up here to St. James is now being resurfaced. I will tell you, I sat in cabinet and I told my colleagues, listen, before the next election comes, they have to start. We won't finish it because many things happened prior where we had to get the financing. But of course, I can stand here to you in front of you tonight and said because of my efforts, because of my admonition, we were able to get that road started. I want to thank Spencer Brand as well, because he was the one who spearheaded that effort. When he came to cabinet, we told him to get the financing in place. Get the company that is needed to reconstruct that road in place. He went and he did that work and brought it back to cabinet and got the stamp of approval of the cabinet. And very shortly, you'll be driving on a very smooth surface coming from all the way down in Cotton Ground, all the way up here to Newcastle. And I know many of you would have had challenges because, of course, those were terrible roads. There's no if, no but, or maybe about that. And many of you may have had some expenses, but relief is coming. A new surface will be laid, and you will have a comfortable drive coming from Charlestown all the way to the north to St. James. But not only that, I want to move on and tell you that I spoke about Shaw's Road already. We'll move on from Shaw's Road, but I'm certain I heard Spencer Brand talk about that police station. And everything good that has happened in Nevis, the NRP has criticized it. I have said a mature party, mature leadership will say, in opposition, and you see the government do something good on behalf of the island, you will say, good job. We have done so in opposition. We have commended the NRP in opposition. But if we're waiting for the NRP to commend us, well, we'll be waiting a very long time. So I'm not even going to worry about them. All I'll say to you is that in 2013, when I got into the cabinet of the Nevis Island Administration, I told them, all of my colleagues,
I made a commitment to the policemen and women who were there at the police station at the time that I will ensure that their environment will be improved and enhanced. The construction of the police station is not the NIA's job to do. It is not for us, it's a federal matter. But we couldn't sit and wait for the federal government to come on board. I would tell you at the point in time when we made the decision, there were 2 police stations that were donated to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis by the government and people of Mexico. Both police stations were built in St. Kitts. The understanding I had then was 2 more were coming to the Federation. But somewhere along the line that got derailed. I said we couldn't wait. I sent a proposal to the federal government to build a brand new police station. Up to today, I haven't heard a thing. But we just couldn't wait because as we were waiting, the situation was getting worse and worse there. So in 2016, we decided we're taking those policemen out, break down the police station, started our rebuilding process. We got a mortgage from First Caribbean Bank, and we started the process. Well, I want to commend the federal government because after we were in full flight, they came on board. But it was because of the Nevis Island administration and their commitment to the police, commitment to the safety and security of this very constituency and the island of Nevis, we decided we were forging ahead to rebuild that police station. What a wonderful edifice, what a wonderful structure. And you know where it is? It's in Newcastle. It's in St. James, one of the best in the OECS. So you travel the OECS and you look at police station, and when you come back to Nevis, you say, well, the best police station in the OECS is right here in Newcastle. Right here in Newcastle, and the reason why that had to be reconstructed, imagine as the representative of St. James, I go over there and tear down that police station, the old one that was there, and never rebuild one. Well, the people of Newcastle would tell me they're not voting for me there. That would have been their reply to me. Because it has been there since 1970 or before, a police station that is. So how can I come along as a representative, see something need rebuilding, replacing, and do not do that? So I am proud that I was able to bring that accomplishment and that particular structure back to Newcastle. So as it is, the people of Newcastle can be proud when they travel that area. And I'll say to you, as part of the road enhancement work that will be done from right here at the bottom of Shaw's Road up to beyond Nisbet Plantation, in front of that particular police station, the road will be improved. It will be raised, drainage put in place, a brand new bridge will be built right there next to June, France. You know the amount of water that come down from behind of the police station. So that bridge will be built to ensure we have safety and security there. We are building resilience right in front of the police station. We are making sure that 50 years and beyond, the infrastructure will be able to hold up and carry the volume of water that comes down to the back of the police station down to the ocean. So that is what we'll be doing there. So infrastructural development will come. I want to go up to the VOJN sporting facility. And you know why I talk about it all the time? In 2006, under the Honorable Nurse Jane Harris, that facility started construction then. Unfortunately, the CCM left government. And the NRP came along and they said what? They said they now do a thing to it. And they never touch it. They never touched it. But I made a commitment in 2013 to all of the young men who normally go there to play cricket, football, and the likes, that I will make it my duty and responsibility to rebuild, not rebuild, but finish that facility and also enhance it to the point where you can use it morning, noon, and night. So you go up there. You have a brand new pavilion. You have a bathroom outside for persons to use. You have a brand new surface. The field is nicely laid. You have lighting. You have a fencing of the entire perimeter. The place is like a first-class facility. And why I say it's a first-class facility, the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots, you all know them, that team from St. Kitts that plays in the CPL. They have come there to practice. They have come there to play. They love the facility. As a matter of fact, I do believe if we can get them there just for practicing sake, they'll come. But they have come there a number of occasions. The Leeward Islands Hurricanes have come there to practice as well. So we have had some international stars that have come to that facility. As a matter of fact, almost every Sunday cricket is played, and when you have a major finals, it is played right here in St. James. Who would have thought about people leaving Charlestown, leaving Grove Park to come to St. James in the north, up at VOJ Sporting Facility for a major finals? In the past, we used to traverse and go all the way to Charlestown for such things. But you're coming right here to the VOJ facility. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet because we're going to rebuild the football, not the football, the baseball. Oh my goodness, I'm thinking baseball now. Maybe I want to bring baseball up there too. But it's basketball court. I love baseball, so maybe that's why. The basketball court, the netball court, and we'll add a tennis court as well, right up there, to make that a comprehensive complex. Good things will be happening up there. Because we're doing this so that our young men and young women can get some form of recreation at any point of the day. Keep themselves fit, keep themselves healthy, so that they can be productive citizens. Once you're fit and healthy, your brain will be as healthy and fit as well. And that's what we're going to do up there at VOJN. If I go beyond VOJN, Spencer spoke about it, but I am the one who would speak about it too, because I am the one who was responsible for bringing University Heights. University Heights, ladies and gentlemen, was conceptualized to ensure that we are keeping our brightest and our best right here in Nevis. We all know when persons go to university or four-year colleges and come back to Nevis, and they have challenges to secure a home or to secure land, many of them get frustrated and decide they live in Nevis. We are saying to our young men and young women, we want them to stay here and participate in the development of the island of Nevis. And so we have offered these incentives. Concessionary price on land, $1 per square foot, and a house that is, for just about $340,000. Most of them have a mortgage payment of just about $1,500 to $1,800. And we have structured it in such a way so as to bring that ease to our young people. That is how you think as a government. That is how you plan. And your policies must reflect what you're trying to accomplish in terms of ensuring that your citizens are taken care of. So a number of persons have taken advantage. And while I'm up there, I'm going to say that we're going to continue with that program up there, because we're in the process of buying 36 acres of land right up there at Garners. And let me tell you something about Garners. It's one of the most beautiful views you can get anywhere on the island of Nevis. When you're up there, you have a view of the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean Sea, Booby Island. You can see down into Frigate Bay, the peninsula. All those areas, you capture that all in one view. And we want our citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, but more so Nevis, to buy land up there, to build a home. So at some point you'll be traversing this area and you see some beautiful homes adorning that landscape. 36 acres of land. And if I were to go through the history of those lands, it will take me all night, but I will say to you that because of the fact that I am the Minister of Lands, and because of the fact that I'm a minister within the Nevis Island administration sitting around the cabinet table, I was able to see, and I was privy to the fact that those lands were foreign owned. And we don't have anything against foreigners, but I'll say to you, based on what was to be done with those lands, I told the members of cabinet we should go after those lands, purchase those lands, bring them back under our ownership and control, so that our people can get a piece of the rock. Beautiful lands. And so I am proud of that as well. Not only that, go down to Herbert Beach. There was a land mogul around here. We call it land mogul. Persons who like to buy up land, gobble up lands. That was being sold at a price that I feel was it would have been paid by the person who was going to buy it. The person had money and they were going to buy those lands. But because of the attachment that we as persons in Newcastle and in St. James and the whole of Nevis have to those lands, I said we have to approach the table and put our offer on the table to buy those lands so that the people of Nevis would not be shut out, cannot be shut out. Because the day they were sold to that person I'm talking about, they would have put up a big high fence and nobody would have been able to go down there. As a matter of fact, we have a festival there every single year for the last 26 or 27 years called Herbert Beach Affair. That and all would have been gone. And when you think about what could have happened and what could have happened under my leadership, I told the cabinet, listen, we have to get those lands. And we were able to acquire those lands. 13.9 acres of land, prime beach land, and we'll put a development plan in place so at least we can go there and enjoy those lands. Right now you can go down there and jump up and stamp up on them. It's your land. It's your land. And that is how you think as a representative, because no one prior to me, at least I cannot knock Nursing Harris because they were not available at that time, but NRP themselves made no effort to ensure those land stays in the hands of the people of Nevis. But we came along, and as soon as the opportunity came, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you, some person sat down in front of me in 2013, July of 2013. I was a fresh minister then, and when they sat down, they're talking about those lands, I tell them, listen, the people of Nevis need those lands. And by 2017, we were able to make the move to get them. And that's what you do as a representative. So I'm proud of that. And what would make me even more proud is when we come up with a development plan to ensure those lands are used in the best possible way to benefit one and all here on the island. But moving right along, housing have been a talk on this island. I will say to you that the cabinet of the Nevis Island Administration gave me a mandate to build quality homes here on the island of Nevis at an affordable cost. And we have done just that. Cedar View Housing Development is one of the best in the Federation, if not beyond. And I say that with no water in my mouth. And no contradiction there is as well. One of the best housing development. As a matter of fact, persons have come all the way from Barbados and beyond, driven through that development and said it's the best they have seen, ever seen. The road network is nice. The colors are nice. The houses are nice. And you know what? Compared to perhaps Cherry Garden, is far less complaints we are hearing. Maybe 1 in every 30, and there are 60 homes up there. So if I say 1 in every 30, just about 2 persons have complained up there about anything to do with the house. You go over to Cherry Garden, for example, let me leave and go over there for one bit. Because when we came into government in 2013, we made complaints about houses over there. We made complaints about the sewage system, soakaway and the likes. And even up until today, we are still getting complaints. Even up until today, we are still rectifying some of those issues over there. As a matter of fact, more than 60 to 70% of the houses over there had issues and difficulties. And we had to solve those as a government. So we said moving forward, when persons invest in their homes, they spend hard-earned money, we have to give them a house which of a high quality, high standard, and something that they can be proud of when it's all said and done. And that's what you do as a good forward-thinking government, because people have to work hard. And if you want them to have their pride, that pride in their home, you have to give them something of quality. And that's what the CCM have done. CCM is a quality party, you know. We are a quality party. We have quality people, supporters and all quality. And so we produce quality at all times. Not only that, let's move up to Butlers. Lord, when I drive through Butlers, I say, Butlers have been transformed. Butlers have been transformed under your CCM and under my leadership. And I want to say to the people of Butlers, be proud of your infrastructural development. Nice walls. And people may criticize your walls, but listen, you deserve it. You have waited for some time for your road to be reconstructed. And anyone who comes in here to vote in the upcoming election and drive on those roads or walk those roads, they would walk right into the polling station and say, let me vote for CCM. Okay, if they're not happy, bring them. They're going to vote for CCM just because of that road, just because their property value have been enhanced and their environment have been improved. They will do that. But ladies and gentlemen, we can talk all night about what we have done in the past. We also have to talk about what we'll do in the future. And I've said before, and I'll say it tonight again, and I'll keep saying it, that my aim and my ambition is to leave St. James and leave the island of Nevis better than I met it in 2013. And if you have that type of mentality and thinking, I am saying to you tonight that we'll accomplish our goals as we move forward. As I stand here tonight and I look at the Van Summer International Airport, this will become a priority for us over the next 5 years. And it will not take us 5 years also. We are eager to get started in terms of extending this runway, improving the surface, the lighting, and also acquiring some properties north of this runway. When you look at other islands surrounding us, they may have moved a little bit ahead of us. We were ahead of them, but in development, everyone have different phases in their development. Some get ahead of you, but then you don't sit idly by. You pull up your bootstraps. You roll up your sleeve and say, let's get to work again. Let's continue the work. So we're going to continue the work here and make sure that over the next couple of years, we'll see aircraft landing right here from Miami. American Airlines, that is. You know, there's an American Airlines, American Eagle, that is, that flies into Anguilla and into Dominica. We are seeking to attract that very same aircraft. Oh, what a beauty it would be when we have persons leaving Miami 1 o'clock in the day. By 2:30 they are in Nevis. By 3 o'clock they are on the beach sipping a daiquiri or rum and coke, whatever they drink. When persons are going on a vacation, they don't want to spend time sitting in airports. We want to bring them directly here. And that is how you develop as an island, because you have to be making it easy for persons to have access to your island. And that is why I want the support of all, one and all, to understand that this infrastructural development will bring Nevis to the point where all of us will receive the benefit. The residual benefit will be there for all of us. Whether it's in the hotel sector, whether it's in restaurant business, whether it's in taxi operation, whether it's in car rental, all of the areas and all of the areas that are connected to the tourism industry, you will be impacted positively with the reconstruction of this airport. Not only that, I have said before and I'll say again, that these 2 primary schools that we have in St. James, we have to continue to seek to grow the student body or the student population over the years to come. How we'll do that? We'll build a daycare and preschool right here in St. James, government-owned and operated. Premier, I hope you're hearing me, because I'm already seeking out lands to do that. And I believe right up here in camps we'll get that done. Why is it important? Why is it important? Once you build a daycare and a preschool right here in St. James, the children from this area will go right there. When they're done there, they'll go into the 2 primary schools here, either St. James or up there at VOGen. Currently we have a preschool right here at the Franklin Brown Community Center. There is a limitation on the capacity. Only 20 students can go there. So what that means, if you have an excess of 20, you have 40 children, the next 20 will find themselves somewhere on the island. And if they do that, that's where they'll end up perhaps going to school. We are saying we want them to go to school right here. To build a talent pool in both schools. I want VOGen and St. James to compete with all of the larger schools here on the island. As a matter of fact, we have demonstrated just recently, the St. James Primary School have demonstrated that even though we are small, once the talent is there, we can compete. We went right to the primary school football finals. Right to the primary school football finals. Unfortunately, the St. James Primary School didn't win, but they must be commended because they took down all of the giants before. but they weren't able to take down Goliath in the end. It was a David and Goliath situation. But that being said, the more talent you have in these schools, the more competitive they'll be at inter-school primary. When you have spelling bee competition, quizzes, or any other competition among the primary school, we'll be able to compete. And that's how you build communities, resilient communities, sustainable communities. And you have to be thinking way down the road. And that's why we'll make that a major plank of our development for the next term. I want to say as well that one of the things that I also want to do in healthcare is to build a polyclinic right up there at Potworks. Might sound like a big word, but it is something that is more advanced than one of the community health centers that we have here. At a polyclinic, you can have things like a laboratory, a pharmacy, radiology can be done. All of the services that are offered at the hospital can be done there on a smaller scale. But the importance of having it over here, someone needs these services, don't have to go to Alexandria. As a matter of fact, we have ambulances. I heard one going up the road here earlier today. We'll have ambulance services there as well too. So if something happens over here, it will take minutes. When I say minutes, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes as against the 25 minutes or half an hour to come from Charlestown. So you take half an hour to come and half an hour to go back. But you can stabilize a patient right here. And when it's all said and done, if you have to transfer them to Alexandria, you do that. But St. James must be developed to the point where we can say eventually, as I always jokingly say, one of these days St. James will secede from Nevis. I say it all along because we're going to have all of the amenities over here. But that is just a joke. It can't happen. It won't happen. But what I'm saying to you is that we'll build St. James to the point where all of the amenities in Charleston will be available out here. As the population grows, as people come into the area, they'll be comfortable in the area and they don't have to drive all the way to Charleston for everything. So that's how you think as a representative, and I want my other colleagues to get jealous too, you know. Because if we can duplicate all this throughout Nevis, well, Nevis will be one of the finest destinations on earth. I always say when I travel and I stand up to say I am from Nevis, I say I am from Nevis, yes. And my island is the closest thing to paradise and the nearest thing to heaven. And I mean that every time I say it. Because in this party, all of us have a love and a passion for this island. We'll never call it down. We'll never say nothing negative about it. Our job is to build it up and move it forward so that, as I said before, we can leave it better than we met it. That's what we'll do as a party. But ladies and gentlemen, an election is coming. An election is coming, and we are coming to you and we are asking you for your overwhelming support. Some may say we don't have to campaign the length and breadth of Nevis, but we are going to campaign. And I want to say to you tonight that I want you to go out early when the time comes. I want you to say to yourself, early out, keep NRP out. Early out, we're going to keep NRP out. NRP is bad for Nevis. NRP has called on the island of Nevis. No matter how they change the name, they could call themselves NRP, the new NRP, the new NRP. They could call themselves the revamped NRP. It's the same old NRP. And all the negativity you're hearing coming from the NRP, they're living up to their true colors. Their true colors. Because if you hear them say that nothing is happening in Nevis, if they call on the electoral process, they call on everything in Nevis, it tells you that they don't have any love and any passion for this island at all. And as such, you should leave them where they are. You remember the days when they had this radio station? What do they call them? Well, it wasn't my choice anyway. It wasn't my choice of radio station. You must know where I'm going. It wasn't my choice, but morning, noon, and night, they used to cuss everybody in this SCM. In this CCM. They used to cuss cuss me, cuss everybody. They had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everything they used to cuss. But you know the interesting thing?
Oh, no.
I'm going to tell you all something, you know. When we got into government, you remember that radio station, they owed Nevlec $155,000. At the same time, they were collecting $150,000 every year. I think it was about $12,500 a month. They have a contract. For 6.5 years, they didn't pay no electricity. They were in such arrears that I told the manager then to cut them off. And I'm proud to say that tonight. You mean to tell me that the old man from Stony Grove, the old woman from Hanley's Road, the old man from up in, Fountain, the old man from down in Charleston used to walk in the hot sun, go up to Nevlec to pay the $250, the $300 to make sure that they don't get cut off. But that radio station had owed $155,000. And at the same time was collecting $150,000 a year. Collecting taxpayers' money, cussing us and not paying their bills. So they went to court when we cut them off. Yeah, they went to court. But you know the interesting thing, within 6 months we were able to get the people's money. And so I bring that up to tell you this much. I said before that the same NRP is coming back to you again. The same thinking. There are a number of them who have been out there cussing the CCM for 5 years on the radio, on the internet. They ain't holding a job for 5 years, and it's not the fault of the CCM. Walk in this island. You may not get a job that you want to do, but you can find work. But they spend 5 years cussing the CCM, cussing the people of Nevis, waiting for a cycle to come around every 5 years to get a work. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell the people of Nevis and tell everybody who's listening, the next 5 years going to come, they're still going to be cussing because they'll still be out there looking for work. They want to get back in here. And I'm not talking to no young man and young woman out there because all of them working. I'm talking to those who know who they are. Every 5 years they sit and wait for a job. But I want to say to you tonight, I have so much confidence in the people of Nevis. I have confidence in the people of Nevis 1. That is down in Charleston where Spencer Brand is running. Spencer Brand has put his record before the people of St. Paul's. And the people of St. Paul's will vote for Spencer Brand. This time around they're saying they don't want a Rere and a Rara in a no government in a Nevis. So Spencer is going to be a decent man going to win his seat down there in Nevis 1. In Nevis 2, the Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, no matter where you send him, locally, regionally, or internationally, he has proven that he can represent and represent well. He has represented the people of St. John's. And the people of St. John's know in Mark Brantley, they have a true leader. They have someone who is caring, someone who is passionate. Oh, the DJ helping me to spread it.
We voted for Mark now. Brantley and the CCS.
Thank you, DJ. Well, I ain't got to say no more about Mark. You hear they say we voted for Mark now. So that's Mark Brantley. That's number 2. Up in number 3, we have the Honorable Eric Evelyn. They call him the dancing minister, but you know what? I love Eric. Why? He's a naturalist. He do what he does best. The man is a naturalist, and no matter what they say, they ain't going to stop him from being himself. So because he has been himself, the people of Gingerland has always rallied with Eric, even before politics he has been there. And they're going to continue to rally with him now, because they take up a guy from Barnescott, and the Kenny Cat somersault, however he get up in rally and say running up there. Nobody in Gingerland want to take on Eric, so they find somebody who they want to put in the fire. Somebody who is allergic to work, allergic to paying bills. You want them there in government? Never. That's where the be is right. Anyway, that is set. In number 3, Eric Evelyn. In number 5, all the way with LBJ, I've had a chance to work with Latoya over the federal elections. And up until recently, we have been rubbing shoulders together, talking to one another. I've been giving her the encouragement. She has been giving me encouragement. And she has been saying she wants to be in cabinet with us. Eric and I have been debating where she's going to sit. She'll sit between the two of us, period. Because when she needs some assistance, I'll tell her. Eric will tell her. We're going to bring her along. But the reason why I bring up all this is because the people of St. Thomas's must understand. All of us who have been elected, we are elected to serve the entire island of Nevis. But once you're elected by your constituency, you're expected to put the affairs of your constituency first and foremost in your plans and program. So when roads are to be done, you have to agitate for that. When houses are to be built, you as the representative have to agitate and bring that forward. When social programs need to be put in place, you as the representative have to do that. So even though you have a ministerial position, agriculture, health, whatever, your first love should be to your constituents. So I'm saying to the people of St. Thomas Parish, you have voted for people to go into opposition over the years, and they have not been able to do anything for you. When Joseph Parry became the elected representative in 2006, he went up and down St. Thomas's and did many things. That's what a representative does. I give him credit for that. So that is why I'm saying vote for Lataya, because CCM going to win the election anyway. So what you do? Put Lataya in opposition? Not Lataya. Put, what the other girl name? My name? Anyway, forget that. You can't be voting to put people in opposition. You have to vote them into government to work on your behalf. And no matter how they argue against that, no matter how much points they put forward, let me tell you something. During 2006 and 2013, Nurse Jean was in opposition. How much got done? You think Nurse Jean could get things done? No. No representative were there. But as soon as I got in 2013, things started moving forward. So vote for Lataya down in Nevis 5. I come back to me now. Alexis Jeffers right up here in the north. Nevis 4. I am saying to you tonight, I love talking on the microphone. I love preaching to you. I don't mind doing it. But my record as a representative speak for itself. I have done things in Butlers. I've done things in Brick Hill, in camps in Barnaby, up in Fountain, down in Newcastle. I've done things all up and down St. James. And nothing wrong if you want to play the bullbud, because we'll drop some bullbud on it. And they're still sweet, you know. It's still sweet. And we're gonna pull out the bullbud for the campaign still and for the elections to come. Anyway, I'm saying to you that I have put my record before you. I'm running against someone who have been in this constituency for 20 long years. Don't even know who she neighbor is. Don't even know where Charles Rose is, because we had a consultation up in Butlers and she don't even know that the government had done this road here. I told Mark one time, I asked the lady down on the beach who lived in the 5th house on the left-hand side of Charles Road, going up towards the mountain. Couldn't tell me. Couldn't tell me. No. And when she walk up to you these days, he asks you, who are you? Where are you from? That is what the NRP is bringing to us. And we told you already that there are a lot of suspicious things about that lady. NRP gone to St. Thomas and he can't go down there. No, NRP gone to St. Thomas, they're right down there tonight. We said before he can't go back down there. And so said, so done. 20 years you haven't gone back. We want representatives who can travel the globe. No ways off limit. And I have traveled the globe and I'll continue to travel on your behalf, because there's no way on earth unless it is somewhere that is restricted. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to spend the time now. I want to say to you that you should keep your focus. Your focus is on voting for the CCM, voting for the hammer. And I said before, early out, we're going to keep NRP out. And that is what you're going to do come election day. Take your mother, take your father, take your sister, take your brother, take your uncle, your auntie, take your grandchildren, take everybody with you. And when you come from the polls, think again and see who else you would have missed. Whoever you miss, you go for them. All day, we'll mobilize to get the votes out there. Because we cannot allow the NRP to sit in government again in this island. Their record of the past tells me that we ain't want to have a thing to do with NRP. They up and down saying NRP best for Nevis. I say NRP is best to keep away from. And that is my simple message for you tonight, right? I want to leave this stage and leave you in the capable hands of the premier and leader of this great party. I will be back to you. And if you have time for us to sit and talk, ask me any questions. I am here for you. And I'll always be there for you. Ladies and gentlemen of the castle, ladies and gentlemen of the CCM party, thank you for listening. Go out and vote in your overwhelming numbers on December 12th. We'll have a grand celebration when it's all said and done, because you know we know how to party in this CCM party. Thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for listening. Go to church tomorrow. Say a prayer for this great party on this island. Thank you very much.
Nobody hold me, nobody hold me. Let me come keep full but money. Nobody hold me, nobody hold me, nobody hold me. Let me come keep full but money.
That's your representative, St. James. Let me hear you make some noise for your representative. That's wonderful. You know, Alexis is the man that you know. You know that he can perform for you. And I know he is the man that you want. You know? We're not going to make any joke or make any mistake on the other side. We're sticking with Alexis. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving right along. Just a little housekeeping. Our next public meeting is going to be on Thursday night. That's next Thursday. And we are going to be in Craddock Road at the Mango Tree Bar, right in that vicinity. And I want all of you to come out. You know, Craddock Road is a nice place. It's right there. It straddles St. Paul's and St. Thomas's. And I know that you all have been saying that you want to hear our St. Thomas's candidate on the microphone. She has been a little bit under the weather. She's here tonight. Good night, Latoya. Put up your hand, let the people see you. So come Thursday, she should be fit and ready to go. And you will get to hear from us. I want all of you to come out. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving right along. And we have one speaker left for you. You see, you're already calling the name. Tell me who coming next. Ladies and gentlemen, make a little bit of noise and help me to welcome to the platform the leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement and the premier of Nevis and the champion of the people of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley.
We voted for Magno. We voted for Magno. Bradley and the CCM. The job will get done now. I want Nevis to be a better country. I want my people to have prosperity. So I will vote for CCM and Mark Brantley. So when you see hey, with CCM, trust me, it's no problem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to the good people of Newcastle and the people of St. James. We're right back here by Khaki Shop. This has always been the home of the Concerned Citizens Movement. I like to tell everybody that St. James is CCM country. Now I am sitting there in the car trying to do some work, and I hear Alexis Jeffers talking. And I said to myself, well, I could take a nap for at least an hour and a half, because I know you're going to talk long. But the truth is that Alexis Jeffers can speak for a long time because he has a long report card to give to the people of St. James. You see this road, the Enshaw's Road? Alexis do that. You see over there, that brand new police and fire station, Alexis do that. You see over here the water taxi pier, Alexis do that. If you go all up at Gingerland, to the Gingerland Primary School, they got that brand new kitchen up there, Alexis do that. You see down here, we are now building a reception area at the water taxi pier. Again, it's Alexis who's doing that. You go down in Newcastle, you see down there 30 acres. We call it the fruit orchard, Alexis. You come over here to Madden's, Alexis. You go up to University Heights, Alexis. Well, Lord have mercy, you don't leave nothing for nobody else to do. When he came and he spoke to us as Minister of Lands, he said to us that Herbert's Beach was in danger. And he wanted the government to acquire the lands at Herbert's Beach for the benefit of the people of St. James and the people of Nevis. Alexis do that. He came to us, he found some land up Ghana's. I believe 26 acres, Alexis? 36 acres. And he came and he said, we should acquire those lands for the benefit of the people of St. James and the people of Nevis. Alexis do that. I am here to tell you that when you have a good representative, one who has been delivering consistently for the people of St. James and for the people of Nevis, stick and stay with your representative. You see, politics, some got politics as a second career. Some seem to feel after they have retired or have run away from whatever problems they had overseas that they must now come here and tell you that they should represent you. They don't know you and you don't know them. Alexis has walked the streets of St. James. Alexis has been with you. He has been in every organization. He tells me he was even a good cricketer. He has lived among you. You know him. And he has served you. And when I hear him, I know I can stand shoulder to shoulder with him because he has the passion for the people of St. James and for the people of Nevis. You know, when I saw Alexis, when we went down to St. Kitts down there and we found ourselves in this team unity. And we had some problems down there. And then with the forwardness down there, think they could separate me and Alexis. They could separate me and Eric. They could separate the 3 Hebrew boys that the people of Nevis sent to represent them. And every morning we went down, we had breakfast together. Because we say, listen, if the 3 are we wrong together. If the 3 are we right together. But we know that together we will be stronger. And Alexis and Eric and I stayed together through thick and thin. And that is why you know that you have people that you can trust who will always put the interests of Nevis ahead of their own. You know, I have been in St. Kitts for some time. The people of Number 9 sent me way back in 2007. Alexis and Eric just come in 2020. And some might have said, if they were in their position, let us protect our salary. Let us think about self and not about the island of Nevis. And when I said to them that the island of Nevis will not be mistreated in any arrangement that I'm a part of, they say, if you say so, I saw it go. Because we are standing with the leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement. So many people up and down saying all kind of things. But who would have given up their salary? Who would have given up their job to stand with the people of Nevis? Alexis did it and Eric did it. They weren't concerned about pension. They weren't concerned about pay. They were concerned about their love for this island that we are all privileged to call our home. And for that, I will be always grateful to these 2 gentlemen. Because they stood up where others would have crumbled. And people tried, you know. They tried. They called them all in the dead of night to tell them all kind of things. Whoever they tell them, they call me and they say, Mark, so-and-so just called, tell me so-and-so. I said, no, study them. I say, you know, in CCM we ignore the noise. Just ignore the stupid noise. And we moved on together. And that is why I'm saying to you, when you want representation, look to the Concerned Citizens Movement. We are representation that you can trust, that you can have confidence in, that when you go to bed at night, you don't have to worry because nobody could buy us. And we will never betray the people of Nevis. You know what I'm proud of, ladies and gentlemen? With all the talk that you hear, You hear any of them say Mark Brantley corrupt? You hear any of them say Alexis Jeffers corrupt? You hear any of them say Eric Evelyn corrupt? You hear any of them say Spencer Brand corrupt? And Lord, young Latoya just reached and I'm going to say Boshi. I say that to say this, that we have had a government that has been free of scandal, unblemished. Previous governments had all kind of problem. Who get house and land. Who thief till them thief sea water and all. We're not involved in that. CCM has been a responsible party, a responsible government, and we have looked out for our people. We just had COVID-19. Lord Nevis looks so nice. Now the soul would think that we just went through a global pandemic. I regret the lives that we lost because one life is one too many. But when we look at the record that this government has had in managing COVID, I say praise be to God that he put in Nevis a serious government that had a serious issue and confronted that serious issue in a serious way. I tell you all the time that we are living in serious times, and that serious times demand serious attention from serious people. And God gave us a serious government. And that is why I have consistently put my faith in the hands of the people of Nevis. Other parties run and lose, they cost the people. They say you take bribe. They say people buy out you. They say the non-nationals. They blame the Guyanese. They blame the Spanish. They blame the overseas voters. I so shocked tonight to hear NRP there, St. Thomas. I said, what are they going for? Every chance they get, they cost the overseas voters. Well, the overseas voters ain't your family. They ain't me family. They ain't your brother and sister. Well, I don't understand how you could cost your own people. Because they are us. And we are them. So they gone down to St. Thomas and said there are 24 people at their meeting. 24. And I wish them all the best because among those 24 were a few CCM supporters. Because you see, we like to hear what everybody have to say. But I am just saying the hypocrisy. There's a lady running up there against me. Somebody tell me don't call she name too much because people don't know her, so don't help them to know her. And the lady gone and sink it because I don't understand. I want you all to understand, the mentality of the Nevis Reformation Party. Nothing in Nevis is good enough for them. We got all kind of radio station. They run down sink it every week. To go on the radio station down there to cost Nevis and cost Nevis people and cost this clean CCM party. So them gone down and hear the woman. Wait, don't play nothing yet, man. Let me talk. Hear the woman. The woman say that she not trust Nevis people to manage the election in Nevis. She want them send Sinkis Nigger over here to run Nevis election. She feel more comfortable with that. Well, if you not trust us to run an election, how could she trust us to vote for her? And how can we trust her to run an island for our benefit? So if she get Tina Sinkis Nigger, she gonna come over and get all the job them? Because only them competent? I am here to tell you that is the philosophy of NRP. Going down there, go chat stupidness about send over people to manage the election because she's more comfortable. DJ, now you can play it if you can find it.
I might be out of place, but I would like to suggest to the supervisor of election that you get a team of people from St. Kitts, and let Nevis people get upset with me today. Get a team of people from St. Kitts who has less of an vested interest in the outcome to man the electoral office in Nevis, and to the extent that we could involve them on election day, on polling day, to be the presiding officers.
Oh, no!
I hope I understand what we are saying, I hope I understand what this representative from NRP gone sink is to say, She gone sink is to say that Nevis people can't run an election in Nevis, When Nevisians have been manning our elections for decades. We have had governments stand, governments fall. We have had NRP, we have had CCM. The only party that has ever stolen a government in Nevis is the Nevis Reformation Party. Them are the only one. So what is it she's saying to the people of Nevis? To the people who work at the electoral office, all of the presiding officers over the years who have ensured that we have clean elections in Nevis. What is she saying to them? But you all remember there was a time. There was a time when Joseph Parry, the leader of NRP, said that the young professionals in Nevis could not build infrastructure for Nevis. All that Troy Liebert and them got engineering degree. Them can't build no road. He said, I gave them a road in Brown Pasture. Let them go up there and practice, learn how to drive. That is the premier of an island speaking to the people of the island. And then he goes further and he said, when the young people come back, them don't know what I'm do. Them don't know what I'm do. And so as far as he was concerned, our young professionals coming home had no capacity to contribute to the development of Nevis. And he said that in order to justify giving all the road work to a foreign company. But CCM come in and CCM said, no, we will give the foreign company work if we need to. But we have professionals here who could build road. Look at Shaw's Road. Who built that? Look at Henley Park. Who built that? Look at Brownhill. Who built that? Braziers. Who built that? Butlers. I go over Butlers the other day. I say, we can't recognize Butlers now. Public Works. Our surveyors. Our engineers. And then you know what our policy of allowing our people to be involved has done? It has allowed some people to buy a truck, buy a backhoe, buy a piece of equipment. We now have an industry that has developed where young people are able to eat in their country. Because before our policy, they were kicking stone in the country of their birth. We are building Nevis by us and for us. And I'm very proud when I stand up anywhere and I say, we are building Nevis by us and for us. And we will never, as a political party, seek to suggest to the people of Nevis that they're less than. So when I hear this woman gone sing, it's going to talk about send over petitions to run an election in Nevis, I feel so bad, so ashamed. I feel ashamed because I know that she is one of my voters. And my voters are sensible voters. So I can't understand why Pat, who always votes for me, would go on radio and sing it's to chat such stupidness. And I hope she's listening to me tonight. Pat, you must bridle your tongue. Talk less, listen more. Talk less, listen more. And before you speak, engage your mind so that what comes out your mouth makes sense. I go on the platform last election. We had an election just a couple of days ago, you know. That's how we feel. The 5th of August. And when I went on the platform, I told you all that the young lady who's running against me will vote for me. And a lot of you think that I don't know what I'm talking about. A lot of you don't believe when I tell you things, but I don't come on the platform and chat foolishness, not me. I always come with facts. And I told you that my opponent is only there because we know she have a little personal issue. So she's there, but despite the personal issue, she recognizes good leadership. And she recognizes that in St. John, the Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley is the best representative for the people of St. John's. So she go back and sing
and he has gained the confidence.
Wait, man, not play nothing yet. DJ man, you hurry. You don't know, hurry dog, it rock on. Not play it yet. I am saying to you, she go back to St. Kitts. I tell them, you know. I tell them, you stay off a radio. Stay off a radio, because when they say things on the radio, no, not like long ago, you know. They got YouTube and people go back and take clip and all kind of thing. She go back and St. Kitts, and she really confirmed the position that she's one of my top supporters. I told you all, but you all didn't believe me. DJ, let them hear.
And he has gained the confidence, mind you, of some people. Because I know, and I can share this with you and the audience, I voted for him the last election. And he has gained the confidence, mind you, of some people. Because I know, and I can share this with you and the audience, I voted for him the last election.
I hope I hear, sir. Because I want I say me say so. I want I say Pat say so. I want to hear it again.
And he has gained the confidence, mind you, of some people. Because I know, and I can share this with you and the audience, I voted for him the last election.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if I were in the court of law, I would have said, my lord, I rest my case. We need seriousness in this thing, you know. Because when you come to somebody and you're not going to do, I come here in Castle to beg you to vote for Alexis. It's a very serious matter. We are asking you to put your trust and confidence in us to make decisions that will make your life better. So when people come at it and they come at it with some level of jokiness, some level of levity, they're not serious. They come with this as a retirement plan. When them done start to collect Social Security, they come and say, let me try a thing and see if I could get into government. No seriousness. And that is why she's not voting for herself. Because she don't want to win. She knows she can't handle the work. She said, let me vote for somebody who could handle the work. But they're going around and tell everybody that he don't know what you do. That is the hypocrisy. So I'm happy she has said it for herself. I won't waste any more time on her. Because I have said to the team, one thing I know, when this election is over, Janice Daniel Hodge will be a retiree again. Pat Bartlett will be a retiree again. The boy Rohan going back, wherever 4 seasons, wherever he's working now, that will be his mainstay. Cleon will not know what hit her in St. Thomas's. She will go back to practice law. And for some reason, I can't remember the next person who run it. But whoever the person be, I know them now come back this side. This is what you call a one-time party with one-time candidates. In fact, I spoke to someone in the party who said to me that they already know that they're going to lose, and they're already looking forward. In fact, some of them are suggesting they should change the name. The NRP is now synonymous with losing election. And I say, well, that is a matter for them. One thing I know, CCM got room. So if they want to come, we are a big tent. We welcome everyone. If you want to come, come. We welcome you. Because if you're serious about building Nevis, you're serious about the development of this island, you're serious about serving people, CCM is the place for you. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't get excited when I come over here because the breeze is good. And when you're in CCM country, you feel good, you feel at home. But tonight is really not about me. Tonight is about the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, a man that I'm proud to call my friend and my colleague. And he has done a marvelous job representing the people of St. James. Sometimes in the cabinet, you got to hold him back. You got to hold him back and say, boy, you want everything over St. James? I hear him here tonight. I talk about St. James might secede. You need to stop saying them things because people might take him serious. St. James has done well under the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. You have been blessed with great leadership in Gene Harris. and great leadership in Alexis Jeffers. And I am saying to the people of St. James, the Concerned Citizens Movement has never brought no jokey representative for you. They brought people who work hard and people who put others ahead of themselves. I need to say this about Nurse Jean. Because Nurse Jean was the first woman elected to Parliament in Nevis. And Nurse Jean retired and passed the baton to Alexis. We all know if she was running up to this day, she would still be winning. That is how much people loved her. But it wasn't just about people loving her, it was also about her performance. And I recall that when the NRP got in 2006 by fair means or foul, that they were on radio, and the fella there that I christened Buster, and he has kept the name to this day, because he's still afraid to come out from under the floor. That boy went on radio and said, Nurse Jean was a foolish woman because she fixed everybody's road and she didn't fix her own. Y'all remember? And I said, you are the foolish person. Because a true servant takes care of everybody before they take care of themselves. But it speaks to the mentality of the Nevis Reformation Party that they all have self and none of thee. So you're chastising a servant of the people for serving the people ahead of herself. And that to me was always an important point. A marked difference between us and them. And how we operate and how they operate. And so, ladies and gentlemen, what y'all going to do with us? What y'all going to do with us? The only thing I could do is send us back to government, you know. They say one good term deserves another. One good term. I think it was King Miko when he saying guilty. What he say? 5 more years in government, I find you guilty and that's your sentence. For developing the country, because look around you. And that is the part that leaves me puzzled. I am bewildered when I hear the argument that nothing happened on Nevis. I was down in the Virgin Islands and a gentleman got up to speak. And the gentleman said that he's concerned that Nevis has an epidemic of blindness. That we must, when we come back, have an island-wide testing of people's eyesight. And I'm there listening to the man and say, my goodness, what does this man know that my health professionals have not told me? And when the man wrap up, the man say, you know why I say so? Because he come on Nevis and he see for himself, but you know, people say nothing happen. They drive you on Shaw's Road every day. Say nothing happen. Wait, this is the road that Janice to take to go home? And she said nothing happened. I wonder if she find out who she 3 neighbors be yet. She find out? Well, that's good. I'm happy for her. Because when she used to be down here with a Guinness in a paper bag, she used to say, well, China used to say, Zook used to ask her, tell me who your 3 neighbors be, and she can't tell him. But all of a sudden, after 20 years, she jumped up and said, she wanted to lead Nevis and she loved Nevis people. No record of any involvement in anything in St. James. None. No record of sponsoring a little child. Say, Lord, here's a little scholarship to go to school. No record of being involved in a sports team, a church group, a community group. Nothing at all. But now, Kinney kept and become the leader of NRP. And the only reason she became the leader of NRP, because they don't want Cleon. That's the only reason. Cleon, if you listen to me tonight, you know I'm speaking the truth. You know I'm speaking the truth. That she came in to ensure that you could not be leader of the NRP. And that is why in this election, they will not win a single seat. You know, in 2020, this CCM created history when we became the first time winning all 3 federal seats. We won 9. We won 10. And we won 11. And then they had all kind of things to say. We came back in 2022, the 5th of August. And what happened? 9, 10, and 11. And here we are. Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming. And on the 12th of December, St. James, I want you to ensure that number 4 is with the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. Gingerland, I want you to ensure that number 3 is with the Honorable Eric Evelyn. St. Paul's, I want you to ensure that number 1 is with the Honorable Spencer Brand. And number 5, St. Thomas's, we have brought a young woman to you. We want you to ensure that you have a representative in the cabinet. St. Thomas's can't be left out anymore. St. Thomas's, you need somebody sitting down. So when Alexis said he want more road in St. James, he want more housing in St. James, he want polyclinic, he want all kind of things over here, that somebody's there from St. Thomas's to say, I want them in St. Thomas's too. And when it comes to St. John's, well, who they sending up against me? I hear the woman say she'll vote for me too. Because she understands that in Mark Brantley she has good representation. And she knows that in me she has a representative she can trust. That's why she said in the last election, I voted for him too. So you see what I'm saying? In 2020 we create history. In 2022 we repeated it. And I am here to tell you that on the 12th of December 2022, the Concerned Citizens Movement will win all 5 seats on the island of Nevis.
We're rolling with the big blue machine. We're sticking with the big blue.
We're going to keep Nevis blue because the people understand what we bring, good representation. The other candidates would have spoken about our plans. And as we go through the campaign, you'll hear more. But we want to do many things. Alexis spoke about the airport. That is going to be a critical part of the next term. We are well advanced now with geothermal. In fact, I am grateful that the CDB is going to meet on the 9th of December. And I'm hopeful that in our meetings after that, I can report to you what the CDB is telling us in relation to that $18 million that we are seeking to develop geothermal. Ladies and gentlemen, we have spoken about doing that South Coast Road to open up all those lands along the southern coast of Nevis, from Long Point all the way over to Hickmans. And people are excited about that project. I liken it to the Southeast Peninsula Road, which opened up the Southeast Peninsula and St. Kitts for development. We are looking forward. We are going to separate the sixth form from the CSS and create a community college so that our young people do not have to go to CFBC if they don't want to. We will ensure that happens here. We have plans to develop our seaport, to expand the cargo capacity at Long Point, and to create there a facility for the cruise ships to come so that we can benefit from that aspect of our tourism product as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we intend to develop our infrastructure, to continue with our water projects, to continue with our hospital at Alexandra, which I remind you is 2.5 times the size of the existing hospital. Because sometimes I talk about it, they think we're building a full cube. We now build a full cube, we're building a state-of-the-art facility right there at Alexandra. That will take us forward. We intend, and I've set up in St. John's, that we are going to build that road from Church Ground, come all the way around to Hamilton. an important bypass road. We are going to do that road that takes you all the way Westbury, Fountain, Mount Lily. And there's so much chatter, but I know that road would have been done already if it wasn't for COVID. You know, sometimes I hear the talk and I said people who do not understand and comprehend what this island had to deal with. In 2019, when we did the budget, we had big plans. Big plans. I said to the team, we are confident. The hotels are full. Business is good. Social Security recorded the highest number of jobs ever in the history of Nevis in 2019. And we saw Nevis going like this. And then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, we nosedived. And we sat in the cabinet every week scrambling to see where we could take money to ensure that our farmers and fishers were covered, to ensure that health sector was covered, to ensure that we had the necessary protective gear, the necessary ventilators up at the hospital, the ambulances that we bought, the equipment that we invested in, the vaccines. We ensured that we kept our people safe. That was our priority. And along the way, we sat in the cabinet and I said to the team, ladies and gentlemen, we have to ensure that not one single solitary worker for the government or for any statutory corporation is going to be sent home during COVID. All of them must keep their job. All of them must be paid on time and in full. And by the grace of God, we achieved it. We sat and we agonized over what we could do. And we had to take money that we had planned for other things to ensure that we kept our people working and we kept our people safe. And it is that approach that has allowed us to be here in Newcastle tonight to say that Nevis is standing tall and ready now to move the island to the next level. We are looking past COVID. We are now prepared to take our island to the next level. And to do that, you need leadership that you can have confidence in. Leadership that you can trust. And the only leadership on offer on the island of Nevis is the Concerned Citizens Movement. Lord, I showed all down in St. Kitts, them bossy vex that CCM not down there. They want CCM all in Antigua. All in St. Lucia, St. Vincent, they must say, Lord, how Nevis got such good leadership down there. Things we do. I remember telling a colleague from the region that in Nevis, seniors who qualify get free electricity and free water. They never hear no such thing yet. They say they're shocked. They can't believe. We have delivered in 5 years 4 double salaries to our public servants. When I say so here, NRP. Now I pay the money. They say, oh, well, who pay the money? Because when the double salary is announced, my first call as Premier of Nevis, make sure the check is on its way so that the people of Nevis can benefit from the same CBI money that is being used to benefit the people of St. Kitts. We talk about fair share, that is fair share. And that is why I am proud that I could stand here and say we have delivered 4 double salaries, create history. We like create history in this party, you know. We like to create history in this party. We have delivered the largest salary increase to public servants in the history of Nevis. 15% over 3 years. They already get 5. January morning, bright and early, they're going to get another 5. And January 2024, another 5. Nobody has ever done that in the history of this island. And when people look on, they say, how are you doing it? The fuel surcharge was crippling people. All of us were feeling it. Castle, I never used to feel it over here. Well, I know the breeze so cold over here. I feel it more than most because I used to have heater in our house. It was difficult because the price of oil across the world kept going up. And we heard the cries. We didn't just jump, because we are government, we think, we consult. So we sat down, we discussed, what could we do? And then, when the technocrats did the math, we said, okay, we will remove the fuel surcharge from homes, domestic users. We will leave it on the businesses. But even the businesses will give some relief because we'll cap it at 65 cents. And I can't tell you, it's the most love that I have received since I've been in this job. Man and woman whom I don't know see me in the street, they hug me up and tell me thank you. I said, thank me for what? They never pay a low electricity bill in their life under this Concerned Citizens movement. People feel relief. And that is why you have government. You have government that looks, listens, and acts. And that is what we have done. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we have been here for a while. We have our next meeting where, Mr. Chairman? Craddock Road is our next meeting. And I know you all want to hear from the newest candidate in LBJ. They tell me LBJ going to be starring in Craddock Road. I am just going to listen and to hear a message of hope for the people of St. Thomas's. And you know what I like? That since this young woman has been launched, the whole of St. Thomas turn up. The whole of St. Thomas turn up. I hear Cleon go up on radio, yeah, Cleon. We shall defend St. Thomas's at all costs. And I say, well, if you got to defend at all costs, it means you're in trouble.
They can't catch up, they too far behind, they could never catch up.
You're in trouble. You think me I go say when me hear Pat launch, me I go defend St. John's? No. You know me say Pat who? Pat who? When you start to say you're going to defend at all costs, it tell everybody that you're frightened. And St. Thomas's, them used to take St. Thomas's for granted. And St. Thomas's people for granted. CCM said, no, nobody in Nevis will be taken for granted. You will fight for every vote. You will fight for every seat. And I know that on election day, number 5 will be Latoya Bianca Jones because it's all the way with LBJ. So what is left then? I just want the date hurry up and come. I want to encourage you to go out and vote early. Eric say that by 9:30, Gingerland done. It can't be 8 o'clock, Eric. I tell you already. Choose 9:30. I'm sticking with that. When 9:30 reach, I want all the people from Gingerland just come and fan out. Spread out in St. James. Spread out in St. Thomas's. Spread out in St. Paul's and St. John's. Because that is one done in the back. And then I have every confidence that St. Paul's, there's only one brand in St. Paul's, and that is the Honorable Spencer Brand. The man has performed, and he said in the last election, give him the chance, and he will earn the next 5 years, and he has earned the next 5 years. And when we start to roll down the hill from Pond Hill, we start to roll down from Pond Hill and we reach all the way down to Bath, I will tell you, the only candidate left standing will be the one and only sheriff. I might be old, but I'm not cold.
You see the next team,
Then we roll over to St. Thomas's. Lord, I want them called the one the last. I want them called St. Thomas's last. Because I have a feeling that December 12th is going to be a good night for the Concerned Citizens movement in St. Thomas's. A very good night man, call your woman, call your husband, call your wife. Tell them that in St. Thomas's is all the way with LBJ. And then we come over here to St. James. St. James! St. James! St. James! What you gonna do? St. James, let me hear you. Make some noise. St. James, are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a wonderful meeting. Thank you for being here. Come out to the meetings. Let us keep the momentum and let us ensure that on December 12th, there is only one result, and that is the All and Nevis paint blue. Thank you, good night, and God bless you.
What we doing? Tell the body, sit down. Sit down, tell them. Sit down, want them. Sit down, want them. Increase the momentum. Everybody, increase the momentum. Jump, jump, jump. Tell the body, sit down. Tell them we say, sit down. Tell them we say, sit down. This is what we say, sit down. Tell them, increase the momentum. Everybody, increase the momentum. Oh, hey, sit down. Tell them.
We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark now. Bradley and the CCS. The job will get done now. We voted for Mark now. We voted for Mark now. Bradley and the CCS. The job will get done now. I want Nevis to be a better country. I want my people to have prosperity.